Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin, and this is Fantasy FUSBALL. It's week 2 of the NFL season. Today we're talking about Frankenstein monsters, a bowl of soup, I test your patriotism, and I lay a plan to defeat Tom Brady. Let's go. We start off with old news. The NFL and their fans continue to deal with COVID in year 2. Anti-vax rapper and perpetual Caucasian Cole Beasley is trying to hook the unvaccinated up with tickets to a Bills game, which is the single most selfless thing he could do during a pandemic. There is literally nothing else he could do. The Saints were hit with a wave of COVID-positive tests, including 8 assistant coaches, 1 player, and a nutritionist. I guess the Hurricane Ida orgy was a bad idea. And in Philadelphia, well, it's about what you'd expect. Belated birthday wishes to David Culley. Apparently, you are the head coach of the Houston Texans. I had no idea. Happy birthday, guy. After Raheem Mostert's Week 1 injury put him on IR, people have been real a-holes on social media. Don't be tweeting at players to kill themselves. It's just a game. Be cool. And really, if you didn't pick up Elijah Mitchell, that's on you. Let's get into the recap. In what should have been a snooze fest, Thursday night's football game between the New York Giants and a Washington football team was mildly interesting as hell. Taylor Heineke got the start and a vote of confidence from head coach Ron Rivera. He does have the ability to throw the ball, which is definitely somewhere on the job description. J.D. McKissick infuriated everyone but his mother, as he got the goal line touchdown over Antonio Gibson. Giants' Dexter Lawrence screwed the pooch, which is a terrifying turn of phrase due to the implications, by jumping off sides and causing a missed field goal to go unmissed. Quarterback Daniel Jones proved that running backs are worthless and led the team in rushing once again. Football team wins. All I could think about every time I watch Jimmy Garoppolo miss an open receiver is Trey Lance should be missing that open receiver. This was not a good game for anyone. San Francisco's carousel of faceless running backs all got the boo-boos. The Eagles tried to run the Philly but failed. Maybe when you run a trick play in front of the entire football-watching community on the biggest stage, you should then retire said play. Quarterback Jalen Hurts proved that the running back position is worthless and led the entire team in rushing. 49ers win. After Andy Dalton suffered a knee injury, we finally got to see Justin Fields in action, and it wasn't impressive, which led to a sickening feeling, like after you eat at Olive Garden, but with less butt grease. Maybe Matt Nagy was right? Joe Burrow hadn't thrown an interception in 199 passes, and something in his body said, now's the time. Burrow threw 3 interceptions in a row, which is kind of impressive. Bears win. Baker Mayfield's shoulder popped out of socket, but everybody agreed that is not where it should be. So they popped it back in, and Baker went back into the game. Tyrod Taylor was injured too, which led to a surprise visit from Davis Mills, which nobody wants. Honey, Davis Mills is here. Oh, hey Davis. Come on in, I guess. None of Tyrod's major organs or orifices were penetrated during this, and I call that a win. And I'm starting to think that maybe the Texans aren't the worst team in the league. Browns win. Nobody was expecting the Colts to win. Vegas was more likely putting odds on when Carson Wentz would get an injury, and he did not disappoint. Congratulations if you had sprained both ankles. Your bingo card is now full. Cooper Kupp went off again, and not one single news organization had the stones to say 2 touchdowns, 1 cup. Sad. Rams win. All Tua had to do to wash away the Deshaun Watkins rumors was not suck and not get hurt. Instead, he did both. To be fair, it's the offensive line that's failing here. Even if it was Deshaun Watson back there, the defense would have been all over him, like Deshaun Watson on a massage therapist. Word is big changes are coming before Week 3's matchup, proving that the Dolphins can learn from their mistakes, and all it took was the fractured ribs of their franchise quarterback. Bills win. I've often thought that Zach Wilson looked like a high schooler, and Sunday, he played like one. Wilson showed the second worst collapse New York has ever seen, throwing 4 interceptions. Damian Harris, on the other hand, was breaking tackles, hearts, promises, wind. Mac Jones wasn't asked to do too much, and he fucking nailed it. Patriots win. The Raiders paid Kenyon Drake, $11 million, just to watch Peyton Barber come up from the practice squad and take the bulk of the carries in week 2. John Gruden confounds me. Derek Carr said anytime TJ Watt is on the field, he wrecks everything. Apparently that includes his bathing suit area too, as Watt left the second quarter with a strained groin. Raiders win. Jameis Winston looked like his old self again, throwing 2 interceptions. If we can have a Matthew McConaissance, I think we can have a Sam Darnold dissonance. He threw for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. No ghost today, just Ham Darnold. Panthers win. Fugly was the only way to describe what the Jaguars put on the field last week. Trevor Lawrence isn't the prettiest girl in school anymore, and he's going to have to put out. He's currently leading the NFL in uncatchable passes. Don't look to Urban Meyer. That warm bowl of soup with a haircut doesn't have the answers. Meanwhile, Teddy Bridgewater is looking like a real quarterback man, and Cortland Sutton must be a teenage girl because he is breaking out. And just got his period. Broncos win. The Vikings look like a team with a well-executed game plan, and the Cardinals look like they spent the offseason taking improv classes. Every snap is just Kyler Murray running for his life and throwing the ball. The irony is when he celebrated his touchdown like this. Everybody thought it was a Baby Yoda reference, but Murray's never seen Star Wars because he's not a nerd. This is clearly a Zen pose, known to Buddhists as milking Tommy Two Tits, ride the lightning. In the end, it came down to a missed field goal by the Vikings. Cardinals got the W, but it's a lowercase w. The Falcons looked much better in week 2, and they were still murdered by Pirates. Tom Brady has now thrown for 9 touchdowns. He got bored during this game and started throwing touchdowns in next week's game already. Be honest, if Tom Brady was tackled and his body shattered into a million pieces and little robotic spiders rose from the dust, that would make more sense than what we're witnessing here. Next week they play the Giants. My advice if you want to stop Brady is you gotta use the old sneaky pigeon maneuver. That's where you sneak into their house at night and feed them bread. Cowboys and Chargers. Dak took a back seat as Tony Pollard and Zeke ran through the Chargers defense like a hot knife through cocaine. It was a good game between 2 evenly matched teams, but then it got reffed up. 20 penalties, some very questionable penalties, like calling Justin Herbert sacked despite him throwing the ball. You got a lot of sacks, Zebras, despite early season woes. Mr. The Leg nailed a 56-yard field goal to win it all. Cowboys win. Derrick Henry ran for 182 yards and 3 touchdowns. Makes you wonder what he's running from. You know, I've often wondered if Derrick Henry is a collection of previous running backs cobbled together like some kind of Frankenstein monster. Does anybody know if LaDainian Tomlinson is okay? Should probably check on him. I don't know what Derrick Henry's final destination is, but I hope he gets there safely. The good news is that the Ravens were smart enough to cover Tyreek Hill. The bad news is, apparently the Chiefs have other players. For half the game, the Chiefs safety Tyrann Mathieu was the Ravens' leading receiver with 2 interceptions. Quarterback Lamar Jackson proved the running back position is worthless and led the team in rushing. Ditch your Lamar beats Mahomes narratives. It was the Chiefs' turnovers that buggered them. Ravens win. It was a good night for the Aaronses. Both Rodgers and Jones scored 4 touchdowns. The Lions showed up and gave us 2 quality quarters of football. Unfortunately, the game is 4. The Lions just don't have enough firepower. I mean, they showed up to a gunfight with the Detroit Lions. Rodgers rebounds, Packers win. Hey, do you like stuff? Because I do football stuff here, so feel free to subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching Fantasy Foosball. That's our show this week. See you next week. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Fucking nailed it.